Hey, how you doing? Hey, so this is Admin from Plex Guide. So in this video, this is more for like PG coders, and so basically we're going to learn how to do an if and then statement. The reason I'm doing this is because basically I just like to share what I know and some of the things that I've encountered and some of the ways it can help you. And again, if you have like advanced tips, pro tips, feel free to post them. So we're just going to go ahead and kick this off, and the goal is to build a series of these videos, so it can inspire confidence in you and then help others. All right. So the first thing we need to do is just obviously open up a script, right? So I'm going to go ahead and type nano. We're going to call this corn sh. If you watch enough of these videos, you notice I kind of technically use stupid words like corn, cat, whatever. So again, you can name the file whatever you want. I just keep it simple. Okay. So the first thing is everybody kind of understands if statements a little bit, but in Bash, it's very particular on what you want to do. So the thing I struggle with is understanding how to do multiple kind of like conditions like ors and ands, because there's examples there, but they can tend to be a little confusing. But I can give you the most common practical way of that I use it in putting it in for Plex Guide. Okay, so let's say we have a user. Let's say you type a menu option, right? So let's go here and pull up something. So we're gonna go ahead to the wiki because I'm looking at a type thing. So let's type typed. And then, okay, so here's a good thing right here. So this is a good way to capture input, right? So we're going to say echo what day is today, right? And then we're going to want to capture that, right? So right here. And so this has been like the perfect thing for me to use all the time. So it's a read statement. You type in a phrase and then it goes into a variable. See right there, like typed, right? So we're going to go ahead and put input the day and then keep it as press enter. And so the variable right here is typed. So again, when I was kind of first looking at this, I was a little confused. I did programming before, but again, it just depends on what things you're doing. It could be a little overwhelming. So basically what you're going to type, what you're going to input in here is going to go into type. So just to show proof of concept, we're going to call this chicken, right? Makes no sense for the script, but just to show you that it works. Okay. So the if statement. So this is a simple way to do an if statement. If, and then what you're going to do is you're going to do open bracket and then quotations. This is the one of the things that I was kind of ignoring when I first started. You need the quotations because it prevents word splitting. Think of it as like it keeps the word kind of like locked in without having any issues. So we're going to go ahead and do if chicken, and don't forget the dollar sign, because I've done it where I forgot to put the dollar sign. I'm like troubleshooting the hell out of like why things aren't working. If chicken equals Monday, and then you're gonna put there, close bracket. Then you're gonna do then. Now, normally what I used to do was I used to just kind of like start typing here and kind of doing whatever, right? But guess what? You can kind of really keep typing this. So you could say output Monday, not output, sorry. Echo Monday is cool, right? And then you're gonna do semicolon again, and then you're gonna do phi, right? So we're gonna go ahead and execute this script. So if I type bash corn sh, see what day is today, right? Input today, right? So if I do anything other than Monday, it's not going to do anything. The reason is because we have to set up other conditions for it. So if I type Monday, there you go. Monday is cool, right? So that's how you do a simple if statement. So the question you may ask is like, well, what about the other days? How do I do that? Well, when I first started, this is what I used to do. So I would go if chicken and then equal Tuesday. So you can do this, right? But it's painful to do it this way, right? So if I say if chicken chicken, so I'm used to using Adam. So Tuesday, right? And then you got to make sure to put a space, because if you don't, that will cause another problem. Then echo Tuesday is for fools, right? 5. Right. So if we do this right now, so I'm saving it, bash corn sh, right? What day is today? I type Tuesday, and you see it says Tuesdays for fools, right? So one thing is that this thing is actually case sensitive, just to let you know. So if I run this again, bash corn sh, what day is today? So if I type Tuesday, lowercase, right? You notice nothing happened, right? Run it again. I do Monday, lowercase, nothing happened. So it's case sensitive. So what you're gonna have to do is you're gonna have to do some extra code and change the input to where it lowercase is everything. You can also do catch-alls, right? So I'm gonna show you how to do that. And again, I'm sorry if this video is very basic, but hopefully you get something out of this. Okay, so let's delete this, right? So normally you wouldn't do this way. That's what I was doing at first, right? So you could say then, right? So normally the way I do it is I do it like this if you're gonna do a stacked, right? So echo Monday is cool, right? So that's good. Now this is a powerful statement, Elif, right? Elif, right? So what this is doing is you don't have to write if again. It's just saying, well, okay, if this doesn't equal this, go to this. So it's kind of doing like a combined if statement or a nested. I wouldn't say it's a nested if, but it's just kind of running it on. So I'm doing elif, so I can say check in equals Tuesday, right? And then got to put a space. See, it looks like I forgot a quotation here. So space, bracket, then, right? So then I'll be like, echo Tuesday is for fools, right? And then you're gonna do this elif again, right? So say check in equal, let's do Friday. Then echo Friday is hump day, right? It's multiple statements. Okay, so, and then when you finish, you're gonna put phi, right? So just to make sure that it works, bash, then I type Friday, and you notice there you go, Friday's hump day, right? But what happens if you need a catch-all, right? Well, what you do is you do an else. So after all your, you do your initial if and your elifs, then you do an else, right? So then you can say echo bad input, right? So if it's anything other than what you're getting, then it's going to do that. When you do the else, you do not have to do a then, just a note. So this is kind of a catch-all, right? So save, bash corn. So if I type blah, 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 right? Look at that bad input, right? So what I used to do was if I had a bad input, the mistake I was making, and this technically works, right? But I could say bash corn sh, right? So what happens is if bad input goes in effect, then what it does, it re-executes the script. There's nothing wrong with this, but it's just not the best way of doing it. And then I'll put an exit, right? Because you don't want the original script to go on. So what's going to happen, I hope, wait, I'll put a $sign in front of the corn. Not paying attention. Bash corn sh. It should work. I've never done it like that. Normally I always put the whole directory. So bash corn sh. And then it's like, see, yeah, bad input. So these sides repeating, see? But then when I finish off, it's done, right? That's not very practical to do. So what you can do a thing is called the function. So that's not the purpose of this video, but it's just kind of give you an input on how to kind of like work your if statements, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to make this a function, right? So we're going to call this main, and then It's kind of weird. You always have to set it up like this. Then you have to do the open bracket, and then you have to do the lower bracket. So let's close it here, right? And then it's going to go to, I'll call it, let's see, second part, right? To go to, yeah, okay. So to go to second part, okay. Just be patient with me on this here. Okay, so I'm going to call this second part, bracket, curly bracket, and then bracket here, right? So let me take this nonsense out. And so what's going to happen is we're going to type the word main, right? And then you see the second part. So what's going to happen is this part's going to execute first, right? And then it's going to go to a function called second part, which is right below it, conveniently, right? And what happens is when bad input is like when you do an else, and when bad input goes into effect, it's going to go back to main. So it's going to loop itself within a function. But check this out. If you start it up, nothing's going to happen, right? Because the thing is, functions don't self-execute. So you see how nothing happened? So functions are just kind of like mini programs that are set aside. So you could set this up anywhere, but just to start the program, you just type main, right? Because this is basically being kind of ignored. Well, it's not being ignored, it's read, but it's kind of bypassed, and then main will kick off. So watch this. So I'm going to type bash corn. You see how it kicks off? Watch this. See how it's recycling? Pretty cool, huh? So I'm going to go ahead and type Friday. And you notice it ends, right? So let's say for Thursday, so let's insert Thursday right here, right? Elif chicken equals Thursday. And kind of same pattern, right? So the good thing is once you write this up correctly once, you'll be surprised how much you copy and paste your own code over and over again. I've learned to do that. Sometimes I feel like, oh yeah, I got this down, and then you make one mistake, and then you're kind of repeating this whole process, trying to hunt down the mistake, right? So we're not going to do echo. We're going to do special, right? We're going to call a function special, right? So same format, special. And then you're going to do this. Let me just double check myself here. Yep. So you're going to do a function special, then open bracket, and then echo, you are special, right? And then we're going to say, we're going to do a close bracket, and then we're going to make it repeat, right? So you see main again. So it's going to loop up, right? So it's going to bash, and then I type Thursday, and then it says you are special. And then what is today? See, so it just repeats. So creating these if statements are pretty powerful. Using functions with it is more powerful because you can redirect. But again, the original way I showed you where I just did like the script and then I did exit is the way I did everything for Plex Guide in the very beginning. But I've really learned to use these functions and they're really powerful. So it can create a lot of redirects for you. So that's pretty much it. So, if you have questions, please feel free to post it. If you visit us in the forums, we do have a Linux 101 section. Please feel free to stop by there. Because this is probably the most practical way that I can just explain something that's really simple. Because in a lot of the examples that I look up, it's either really overly complicated or the demo that they give is not really useful. They tied to something really deep. But other than that, visit us in the forums, like the video, subscribe to us. If you want to donate, that's great. Just be interactive. And like I always tell everybody, if you got something share it with everyone, right? So that's the universal goal. We should all share knowledge. You have a good one. All right, bye. Let's close this.